So I'm back on the land just for a short period. I thought I would come and get a bit of drone footage of the foundations as they stand before we go away for an extended period. We're off house sitting again, and we're headed down to the Algarve again. So we're gonna be down there for quite a few months. So just getting a view of the land and the area. We gave it a bit of a haircut the other day. There's still a little bit to do, but I'll finish off that hopefully before we go. So yeah, just to get a little shot. There's been a little bit of progress. There's some blocks have been delivered. As I said in one of the earlier vlogs, that there's still some block laying needs doing before they can start the wood frame construction, and those blocks look like they've been delivered now, just over behind me over there. So that looks like it's going to be underway shortly. The weather is the rainy season. So it rained a bit last night, but the forecast isn't too bad coming up. There are rainy days, but it looks like most of the rain's in the evenings or early mornings, and it doesn't seem to be too heavy, so who knows. But it is the rainy season, it is what it is, and we'll just have to wait till they get a decent spell before they can start the framing. But I'm going to get some drone footage and get it up, so see you later.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bruce. Happy birthday to you. Hey!
Not too shabby views, are they? And our property's down there, and it's at this very moment being built. He's starting to install some of the block work and, by the looks of it, the base for the wood. Fantastic. So, progress at last. So we're just back at the land, because when we were out walking yesterday we could see the builders on the site doing some work. And it seems they've been laying the base layer ready for the framing to go on. So we're just having a look at that. Yeah, so we were worrying about this tree over here, this cut down olive tree. That's got to go, because the kitchen and living room will be cantilevered over, and it goes up to where these rebars up here. So if you follow the line across from where the rebar is, it's right in line with the that tree. So it's got to come down because it's just going to be over the top of that tree, cantilevered over at that height. So it needs cutting down and getting rid of. The big tree in the back is okay, that's staying there. That's where the living room and kitchen windows will wrap around this olive tree here. But again, it probably needs a good trim back before they can do that. This grass hasn't been cut back, but again, I've talked about it several times, the more times you come back and trim, the less the brambles come back. And this whole area here, which is now lovely and lush grass, was completely covered in brambles, the same that's sticking out of that rock there. It was covered in the brambles, but it's all, every time we come back they become less and less invasive, and the plan is to give it a good cut probably when we get back March, April time, give it a real good cut, and then actually treat the what's left of the brambles with vinegar and salt, and wait for a sunny day and give them a good coating of vinegar and salt, and hopefully that'll just stop them growing back completely and let the grass take over. But yeah, it looks all lush and green now, but all this does burn off in summer. Again, looking at this olive tree here, it doesn't interfere with the building, but again we want to train it so it's going over that way, away from the house. I love the little footpaths that wind around and through these rocks. It's just natural. Yeah, it's great. I know we want to keep as much of this feature as we can when the house is complete. Just keep it natural, and because the house is going to be clad in cork, you know, after a while it will weather in and just blend in with the surrounding trees. Hopefully, that's the plan. but we won't need to paint it, we won't need to treat it, it's just maintenance free. Yeah, cool. And that's having a go at one of these. What is it? Is it blackthorn?
Blackthorn, hawthorn, whatever, but they're evil.
They are evil, covered in
I don't mind the
spikes.
drop stain because it can't catch you, and the birds love the berries.
Yeah.
The side shoots, you know, the thorns just come up as really bad sores.
Yeah.
If you get it in your skin.
Shouldn't you be wearing gloves?
Yeah, well, I wasn't planning on staying here this long.
Yeah, we've just been shopping and we thought we'd just call by because yesterday as we were walking by we saw the builders here, so we just thought I'd come and check out what they were doing. This bit of wall here will all be cleaned off, made visible, cleaned off, get rid of all these piles of compost and branches, and hopefully chip it and shred it all down so that it can all go back onto the land. There's evidence of javali, the wild boar that have been on the land, rooting up the ground. Quite a bit of evidence down here. But when we came down to cut the grass, it was actually full of mushrooms, so that it's no surprise they've been rooting around on the ground. This olive tree that probably, I don't know if that needs to come down, it can probably stay there and we'll just train it to come away from the house a bit. That's the one, the one that's already been cut back, that needs to come down because it's going to be cantilevered over. But this one can probably stay, I think. But it's all surrounded by all these trees and branches that we cut back, and like I say, we'll clear all this area out so it's just exposed rock. And then this area down here at the far end is where the carport's going to go. As I say, as we were cutting the grass the last time, it was full of these mushrooms, and we don't know if they're edible. You know, we need to learn which are edible, which aren't. There's loads of them all around. I've cut most of them down and back, and I've been clearing this area mainly to help the construction workers out, because it gets so overgrown here, because it's all the water comes down to this level, and it seems to grow really quickly, and you couldn't actually see what was around. I mean, I cut the fig tree down there. I left enough trunk for them to get hold of stuff so they can pull it out. All this wall needs to come down, and all the rock to be used to build up the rock over at this end, because it's over the years the wall has just fallen down, completely fallen down. All this wall's coming down, but all the rock will be really handy to build up this section of the wall. It's all just fallen down, and if I put my boot there, you can see it's not very high, and that section needs building up to be a similar height to what you can see in the distance. So all the rock will get used. We're supposed to bring the wall line in about 1.5 meters all along this section, so we might have to do that. But again, I don't know how it's going to work, because some of these sections, like here, that's bedrock. So some of these lumps of rock here we can't move. You know, we certainly can't move it around because we've got no heavy machinery. I mean, this whole lump of limestone here is bedrock. So if we bring the wall line in, yes, it will come in and go over the top of this rock here, but you've still got a massive bit where next to the road, so you can't lay any calçadas on it. Yeah. And it's a bit sad because, you know, if you bring this 1.5 meters, this section here, you're only going to have just enough room to sort of walk through. Not entirely happy because it does take away the aesthetics of the area as well. So if I come onto the road, you know, you can see around you all these dry stone walls next to the roads. It makes the area look beautiful. If all of a sudden you've got a patch of, you know, calçadas running along here, it takes away the character of the area, I think. But it's what they wanted us to do, and we can only do that at the end of the build if we have the money available. But we got loads, you know, loads to do even before, you know, we come back in March, April time. We're going to have to start processing some of this wood, aren't we? Voila! Yeah, this area is a nice walking area. Got plenty of walkers. This pole still needs to come down or get moved, but it's only phone line, I think, so it can be moved. It's got a wire that comes down, be in the way of the house. That's secured to the stone here. You can see it goes right over where our veranda is going to be, so it's connected to the stone here and goes right across where the house, the living room and veranda is. So it's got to be, the wire's got to be moved at least. But that's the living room veranda going to go across there and cantilever it over to where the pole is. This area here is where the living room window is going to be looking over towards the hillside over there. And again, we'll clean all this rock face up and tidy it all up and make it pretty. Get rid of all these logs that we've chopped down and the wood. It's all barbecue wood. All that's going to be moved and all this all cleaned up and made to look nice. And whatever Annette's got planned for planting and what have you, I don't know what they're going to do to make the wheelchair access possible, because that's only over this side that the wheelchair access needs to be done, because the door for the wheelchair access is on this side of the bedroom areas, and then they can come round into the hallway through into the kitchen and living room that way. Yep, I've been told. Got to go. All right, back to the normal life.